So, on your recommendation, I finally threw through the first 3 episodes of Arcane. Um, it was good, but it it hit right on a line for me. So I'm you know a family person, big on family, and the family being uh, somebody in a family being denied trying to support or help their family member of no consequence of their own because they were trying to, and then to have that being taken away and forever alter their relationship and their lives. I'm not saying it wasn't earned. It was earned over those first 3 episodes, just barely, and that's why I will probably finish the last 6. But that hits an emotional chord in me that oftentimes I can't get past.
Fair enough. And that is by design.
100%, I'm sure. I'm
It,
sure. I mean, they didn't build up the entire, that was the culmination of everything that happened. Like
and
you thought it was the battle, or you thought it was their father figure, you thought it was that, but then it was really no, it's a story about them.
it's an origin story.
Yes. It's an origin story, and it's a background, and at that point you realize who is actually who's been focused on a lot, but who's the main character of the whole thing now.
Look,
So that, like I said, they earned it. I'll give them that, just barely. But that was rough for me to watch, to a
ooh,
point of the kind of rough that I don't enjoy watching.
who doesn't enjoy heart-ripping animation about the destruction of family and consequence? You're right. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
Everything you said is spot on.
Hey, I get it.
Oh no, Kenny, have you seen it?
Nope.
Uh,
But I connect with Logan's sentiment because as a dad,
Yeah.
I actually struggle watching movies now where anything happens to the kids. Like, man,
Mhm.
I mean, because you start thinking like, just something could happen in the blink of an eye, and you're just like, I just don't even want to think about this right now.
Yeah, not at all.
Yep.
you guys aren't wrong. I mean, the one thing about Arcane
Mhm.
is it was based off of a video game it's literally like a melee violence game. So there's a lot of violence, and this animation does not shy
Okay.
away from violence towards kids. That's another thing that's really, kind of dark here.
Mhm.
It's and remember, I'm pretty sure I mentioned that when you first start watching it, it almost seems like kind of a Disney Pirates of the Caribbean type of a
Yeah.
steampunk adventure kind of a thing. And I
It
kept trying
goes
to.
dark in 3 episodes pretty. It's not quick, but it's steady.
I was trying, and
It's steady.
I think I said that a few times. I was like, it makes a completely
It
different.
does.
It turns on a dime.
Oh, it does.
Because especially in the third episode, without giving too much spoilers away, but there's like when you could see that it had hints of violence just in episode 1 with the alley fight scene.
Sure.
And again, that's not
That was
viscerally.
rather brutal for as lighthearted as it seemed to start.
Yeah, tweeners fighting in an alley. It was like the Outsiders, if
Mhm.
you will.
And it was, you can usually tell sometimes when you see them live with the effects of the fight. It wasn't a Star Trek The Next Generation, episode, or a Voyager episode where they, get beat up, and then the next week all of a sudden the ship's shiny and pretty and spit shined again. Like, they live with those wounds for a while, and you see kind of the effects on them. And normally when things like that lingers, it tends to be a different kind of level of I'll throw up a little bit in my mouth saying this, but gritty realism.
100%, 100%. And I'll just say this, because I said before, there's 3 arcs
Yep.
within the overall arc. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the first act, if you will.
Yep.
And And oh geez, and Kenny, I wish you could see it, but you know it is
I
rough.
don't have Netflix anymore, so
Oh man.
Yeah, yeah, it's rough.
hard to choose between Netflix and HBO Max, and right now I'm watching more stuff on HBO Max.
That's fair enough. That is fair enough. There is some good stuff, especially, and again, to go more
Yeah.
violent, um, the Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
Yeah, and you
I
haven't
still
been
haven't gotten past the first episode.
I haven't watched the Peacemaker at all, but I did finally watch the the Suicide Squad, the newer
The new
one.
one? Okay.
Yeah,
What were your thoughts on that?
I liked it. Yeah,
And you saw that too, right, Logan?
Oh yeah.
definitely. Like
that's-
I mean, I like James Gunn's approach to movies. Man, he can bring the best out of characters and just you know. I enjoyed it. It was a fun.
It was. And you're 100% right. James Gunn, because again, if you think about it, he was doing stuff like Super, I think, with Rainn Wilson from The Office. And that was kind of like a parody on superheroes. And he also did like a B-level horror film. I think it was called Slither. Yeah. And then he did well, his big break, of course, was Guardians of the Galaxy. And nobody would the whole premise of literally, having a huge franchise being built around an unknown property like that. I mean, but then again, that's the magic sauce. Iron Man. People knew who he was, but nobody really cared. And that he's the cornerstone of $1 billion franchise. So, and yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, they're going to be doing their third movie with Thor in Love and Thunder. They're going to make a cameo, I believe. And
Be a cameo in that, and
also
they have their own third.
He makes a cameo. He'll probably make a cameo in the third Guardians.
Oh sure.
Yeah, as Guardians of the Galaxy.
As Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. And everyone, by the way, thank you for joining us. We're just doing a little, pre-show discussion. We got a lot for you. We got the new Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer. We're going to be doing a live trailer reaction. We're going to be talking about the Batman, as if you could escape that. We also the Batman. The guy.
The historical on Vlad the Impaler. Right.
Exactly. It's fact.
Yeah. This is a bat.
Yeah. I Am Legend. Big nose on that. The DCEU scheduling. We're going to be talking about that. And who is the person who curses most in film? The answer may surprise you. We're going to set up a hell of a show for you. So hang in there. We're going to be right back. Welcome to Binge Theory, the coolest corner on the internet. I am Julian, and today we have Logan and Kenny.
Hello.
Hey, guys. We are going to be doing a few new things on this show. We're going to be doing some wonderful watch-along trailers, but also we're implementing some new graphics. So bear with us, because this is kind of a live broadcast with on-the-fly production. But hopefully we'll be able to pull it off okay. Gentlemen, how y'all doing?
Can't complain.
Yeah, doing good.
Excellent. Well, starting right off the bat, the first item on our list is there is a new trailer out for Obi-Wan Kenobi. And you guys have not seen it, right?
No.
Excellent. I have not seen it either. I was hoping that we could all do a live reaction together. Let me see if I can set this up. Again, like I said, we're doing this on the fly. Not Marty McFly, more like George McFly. Quick trivia question. Name one line that George McFly says in Back to the Future. One line.
Your damn hands off her.
Thank you. That's the line. That is the line. But you got to emphasize it also with the "Hey you"
Yeah. Hey, you.
and the hand gestures.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. Also, I got to make sure that we're doing with audio. I hate that. You always have to tell it to do audio.
Mm-hmm.
It should know. It should know. All right. Let me set this up. And you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
All right. And 3, 2, 1.
The fight is done. We lost. Stay hidden. The key to hunting Jedi is patience.
Ooh.
Jedi cannot help what they are. Their compassion leaves a trail.
Oh, Uncle Owen.
Mm-hmm.
The Jedi code is like an itch. He cannot help it. Where is he?
That is an Inquisitor. Hmm.
Ah.
That went quick for almost 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a lot packed in there too.
Yeah, they really did.
It was. It was. Now, Logan, you called out the Inquisitor. Now, I do remember the Inquisitor from the Clone Wars.
Clone Wars, from Rebels. It's an animated. I believe it was appeared first in kind of the animated series, and is yet one more piece of that animated puzzle that Disney appears to be bringing over to live action.
What do you think about the production, Kenny? You think it looks good? Are we talking Book of Boba Fett or The Mandalorian?
I don't know. I honestly I don't know because because we're watching it through the stream.
Yeah,
I couldn't quite tell. So
fair enough.
It
Yeah.
looks, but it looks decent. You know.
Yeah, quality wise, I couldn't tell, but aesthetic wise, it looked different than those two. And I think that's going to be key for this particular series, and that you can't just have another first season of a show do the first season of Mandalorian with different episodes and characters.
It needs
True.
to be its own. It needs to stand on its own.
And hopefully, yeah, they're relying on the lore a little bit to do that, but hopefully it's able to do that.
And I do think there was a lot more Imperial locations. They were obviously on a ship. And
What is with the ocean, man?
what's that?
Let's say what's with the water.
It-
It gives me like the Rise of Skywalker vibe.
There's only 5 locations. There's desert, there's ocean, there's jungle,
Still,
there's jungle, there's snow,
And they're
and
city.
then there's lava, and that's pretty much, those are your locations. So, unless I missed one, yeah,
Cityscape, Coruscant,
yeah, oh yeah, those mega cities.
Mhm.
That is tight.
or what is it, the Cloud City or things like that. But yeah, mega city kind of structures. So 6.
Yeah, yeah. The rule of six. Order 66. Is that it?
Mhm.
See, it all comes back around. Guys, now here's a hilarious thing. I like it. I want to see. I want to see it. Disney
yeah.
already has my money. Until they go above $10, then I'm cutting them off because enough is enough. Logan, you however were smart enough. You had the foresight to get the long-term deal,
Oh,
where I'm
yeah.
still doing the month-to-month.
Same.
We paid 3 years in
Oh,
advance for that.
both of you guys.
Yeah.
That's
why not? They're 3 years in advance and incredible price.
well.
And,
Again,
and even if
that's
it was just their existing catalog, it would have been worth it for my kids watching it. So
Mhm.
talk
True.
about what they're adding. Yeah.
true.
It is.
Now, I heard that Disney's going to be potentially doing a break-off channel that's more for like the PG-13 and the Rs. Is that true?
I don't know if it's a break-off channel as much as they're going to improve the kind of parental controls and breakdowns of Disney Plus,
That's
because
what it was.
with
Yeah.
where, with everything with Peacock kind of doing their own, service and kind of pulling everything back, Fox and Disney being the same people now, the CW imploding and selling to who knows who, and that pretty much means why does Hulu need to exist? Hulu is just Disney. Disney does not need two streaming platforms. So in order to make that consolidation and to just eliminate, quite frankly, a superfluous service at that point, if everybody else is pulled out,
Yep.
it makes sense just to improve Disney Plus and close Hulu.
Parental controls and things like that.
Yep, parental controls,
Well, I mean, they're
different
bringing.
profiles.
Well, you're adding the Netflix Marvel series, right?
Yep.
Those were fairly, like Daredevil and Luke
Oh
Cage
yeah.
were pretty, violent.
Punisher. Oh my God, Punisher.
I mean,
Yeah.
So, and then when they bring Deadpool in,
Mhm. Yeah,
they have to have a way to, allow parents to prevent their kids from watching, the PG-13 or R level movies, and I think Logan's on point there.
Yeah, they've got to beef up their walls big time, to the point where there may even be a secondary, there's the normal account, the kid account, and then I don't want to say an R-rated account, but call it, Disney After Dark or Disney Treasure Island or Disney Private whatever, like, um, something else that even from the normal account you have to put in a code or a password to kind of go up to get to some of that. And I think that would be, smart and probably where they're headed, looking at the field.
True. Yeah, they want the money and they don't want to be held liable for the perversion of young minds. I completely get it. So
Mhm.
that's a nice I guess halfway point.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, looking forward to it. I'm sure that was just a teaser trailer for Obi-Wan. There's going to be a new one coming out. I'm sure the closer we get to the release date. Gentlemen, moving on. Now
Mhm.
I can't shut up about this because this is this is the movie that, and you guys haven't seen it yet. So I gotta try and pitch it to you without spoiling it and just tell you the great aspects of this. Robert Pattinson, Batman.
Mm.
Jeffrey Wright, James Gordon, Zoe Kravitz, Selena Kyle, Paul Dano, the Riddler, Colin Farrell, the Penguin.
Yep.
An amazing cast, acting on a cinematic level, not just a comic book level, but a strong drama level. And I can do this without giving away much spoilers. I saw this 3 times. And
Wow.
I
3.
did twice. I know you saw it twice.
And I
didn't
did
know
it
you saw
again.
it a third time.
I saw it a third time. The first time I saw it, I saw it in IMAX. Fantastic way to see it. For the Batmobile alone, you need to see it in IMAX because you feel the vibration of that engine in your bones. It is ridiculous. Hey, Big E's in town. Hey, you got to see it. Eric, you got to see it. It is a phenomenal movie, and hopefully we're going to be doing a deep dive on it soon. And I'm sure when it comes out on Warner Brothers, maybe we can all be viewers of it and enjoy it at that time. But yeah, great film.
I'm trying to go see it.
It's I'll tell you what, it is dark, and that's one of the things that kind of put me off. Let me tell you my experience. The first time I saw it, it's just spectacle. You're immersed in Gotham in a way that what I always do is I like to compare to things that people can draw reference from. So if you were to take the Joker and Tim Burton's Batman, I know it's the same source material, but that's kind of the aesthetic. So you have a lot of the dreariness and just darkness of Tim Burton in a grounded, unforgiving reality of Joker. That's your Gotham. It's like New York that never made it out of the the 1970s slum. Yeah, and Gotham is definitely a character, and I think they pulled it off where Christopher Nolan couldn't. And here's why I say that. Christopher Nolan, because remember the first Batman Begins.
Yeah, that
Gotham was kind of an interesting aesthetic. It was, they had like the 80 story train, things like that. So it wasn't, architecturally sound, but it had
Chicago,
an aesthetic.
but yes.
Yeah. Well, no. Dark Knight, The Dark Knight was definitely Chicago. That was so grounded. It was just Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying is they found the balance because Christopher Nolan first started with a fictional city, and then he just said, listen, I'm just going to go to Chicago and make it that. Mm-hmm. So that played. It was almost like Heat. It was just such a good film. This one, I think, has that balance where it's still a functional city, but it's really dense and just oppressing. It's raining 50% of the time, and it's night 99% of the time. So it's just, it's depression visualized in a certain sense. And like I said, Robert Pattinson, people are asking who's better, Robert Pattinson or Christian Bale. Mm-hmm. I will say this. I will say it in the same way that Joaquin Phoenix and Heath Ledger are different Jokers, but they're different Jokers in different time. Joaquin Phoenix was the beginning of the Joker, so he wasn't a fleshed out Joker. Mm-hmm. Heath Ledger was full stride as Joker. Same deal with this. Christian Bale has been Batman for a while. Robert Pattinson is like the newbie Batman. So the thing that you'll love when you see this is he does not have all the skills. He messes up on several occasions. With his detective skills, he gets stuff wrong. With his fighting skills, he gets stuff wrong. With his action stuff, it's almost. And this, I'm going to show my age here. But did you ever see America's Greatest Hero, the TV series?
Mm-mm.
No.
It was wonderful. Long story short, he's a superhero who does not know all of it. He's like Shazam. He's very new to his skill set, so he's not killing it. But no, he's still good. Don't get me wrong. But it's just he doesn't have any practical knowledge because he hasn't done a lot of these stunts that he does.
So that's actually something I never liked about Batman Begins. Right. As much as I liked Christian Bale as Batman, and I liked those movies, I didn't like Batman Begins because they don't dive into how Batman actually begins. Right. Mm-hmm. I really like the DC series Batman Year One, right? Where they dive into what it was like for Batman as he is becoming Batman, as he's figuring out his outfit, how he's approaching crime fighting, building his detective skills, building tools, and them not working.
Right? Are you talking about the comic book?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there is an animated version too, right? It's based
it's I mean, Warner Brothers is not.
But in the comic, it's great because you see him. He builds his like harpoon gun and he fires it, and it literally like breaks in his hands, and he's like, there goes his escape. but I really liked it because it showed him not as the, you know, super brilliant, like never makes a mistake, incredible fighter, and always on top of the bad guys. It showed him more grounded in that he can make mistakes. He did make mistakes.
It humanizes him.
Yeah.
And that
So and that was my understanding of this, of going into this film, is that it was Batman in his very early years, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing that.
let me put it to you this way: it's heavily influenced by Batman Year One, but they just say it's Batman Year Two. They just skip to the very next year, so it's Batman Year Two, and he literally says in his narration, "I've been doing this for 2 years." So it's Batman Year Two.
Okay.
He does have, and you can tell he has a relationship with Gordon, which is great to see them work. Oh, they play off each other so well. Jeffrey Wright is, and here's what kills me: these are such great actors that they put in these iconic roles. So now, is it Gary Oldman or Jeffrey Wright? I would say that they're different because they're at different times in their career. But Jeffrey Wright is an awesome Commissioner Gordon, and
I believe it.
Yeah, and here's what I'll say. The reason why I almost did not like it, and I was telling you guys in our chats,
Yeah.
I had a lot of issues with this because it pulled so heavily from everything else.
Yep.
I always score points for originality, and I would not say that this is original, but I would say it's kind of a collage of a lot of things, which can be original art, I guess. Here's the thing. So yes, it's Batman Year Two. It pulls from that. It also pulls from the comic book Hush. You'll see a lot of pulling from that. And here's the thing: is to give the Riddler, menacing kind of a gravitas. They basically make him John Doe from Seven. That he's a hodgepodge between that and the Zodiac Killer. So he's not, running around in green spandex, riddle me this. No, he's basically a serial killer that is leaving clues for the police, which is Seven. That's literally it. He has a mission and he's doing all these murders that are clever in his mind. But so it is really good to see no, absolutely, Eric, absolutely. An awesome miniseries. And so they're pulling from that. They're pulling from Zodiac because he has ciphers and stuff. You see it in the trailer, not giving anything away. And in the mindset is just he's doing these things for a reason, whatever that reason is. You'll find out. And it's so it was so close, and it had a lot of the same beats as Seven and Zodiac, that I was just like, come on, you're ripping it off. And I still think that they used some things that were so literally from those movies that I'm a little put off, but it plays.
I would look at it like, if you're looking at detective movie, like you're basically writing a detective movie, right?
It's a noir, detective noir.
It's more detective because that's when he's building those detective skills, how to research and how to find criminals and how to get into their organizations and build profiles and things. That's where I would do the same thing. I would look at what are some of the best detective movies or series to pull from. And Seven, without a doubt, is up there. And Zodiac,
I mean, Seven, Zodiac, Silence of the Lambs, all of that.
Yeah.
I will tell you this, Kenny, you will love, and this I will give it 100% credit for. The Batman is a detective. This is the first time that you really see him go to a crime scene and break it down, and how he breaks it down is really inventive. I won't give it away, but it is awesome how he breaks it down. And Pattinson, the character, and this I will give him credit for as an actor, because you barely see him as Bruce Wayne. He's usually Batman, so I'd say at least 80% of this movie he's always in his costume, and he doesn't do the voice. He doesn't do the Christian Bale Batman, I need a lozenge voice. He does the opposite. He almost whispers, which is really kind of cool if you think about it, because when you command that kind of power, you don't need to yell at people. You basically you're barely even there. You're just whispering through it, and he barely has any lines, but his delivery is just spot on for this Batman. And one thing I will say is, people are saying, well, his Bruce Wayne looks really emo, and 100% he's emo. And here's why. He's still, just this young traumatized kid playing Batman. So he has not even developed the Bruce Wayne persona yet. Because, everybody knows Batman is the real man and Bruce Wayne is the mask. Essentially, Bruce Wayne is the character. Batman's who he really is. Yeah. And in this one, because he's so early, he hasn't really developed that whole Bruce Wayne playboy thing. So that's why he looks like emo Bruce Wayne, because he's a punk kid, he's just but so it's so good. And Catwoman, Zoe Kravitz, she's fantastic. I had some issues with her motivations at times, but she pulled it off well. And again, Colin Farrell as Penguin.
He's already gotten his own miniseries.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, they're doing a Penguin miniseries on HBO. Well deserved. And I'm sure that that's the only reason Colin signed up for it, knowing that there'd be like an extended. Well, yeah, maybe not. I mean, he looked like he was having a lot of fun.
When I saw the first image of the Penguin from this movie, I had no clue.
I still can't see that it's him.
I know, it's like
wild.
Are you sure that's Colin Farrell? Like, dang.
When they were talking, Colin Farrell and Jeffrey Wright were doing some, interviews after the press tour, and Jeffrey Wright said, "I walked right past him. I was going to run lines with Colin. I didn't even know that was Colin." And they would also talk about, the rest of the cast, like, you'd come up to him and he'd switch out of his, his Irish accent right into this new, I guess it's New Jersey. They're basically trying to do like a really thick Jersey accent kind of, and they just said it was so, and I'm sure a lot of actors say this, when you're wearing prosthetics, it's transformative. You feel the role, and you put on the bodysuit and the weight and you walk differently, things like that. So and I would say you have to expect some awards, for that, because I'd put it up there with the Eyes of Tammy Faye makeup, the House of Gucci makeup that they did for what's his name, the lesser Joker, Jared Leto. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. He had his own interpretation. Fine, nobody's paying me to be Joker, so he must have done something right. And it was good. And but again, the his suit, it's tactical. Again, not polished, because this is year 2. So he's probably had to learn by getting stabbed a lot and getting, shot a lot, that, I need some extra armor here. And it's just really applicable. His suit is the weight of it. He uses that. And the fight scenes are brutal. I mean, brutal. I put it on par with the Ben Affleck warehouse scene in Batman versus Superman.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. It is brutal. And in the trailer you see when he's taking on that gang on like the train platform, and he's they're like, "Who are you?" And then he just starts wailing on this guy. It's hilarious because the fight choreographer had him just do like this scene, and then the guy goes down. But Robert Pattinson added 2 extra punches just because he said that's what my Batman would do, is he just keep wailing on him. So. Now, there's so many good things. And again, I 3 times was what I needed to get past the liberal borrowing of these other movies and just enjoy it for what it was. And cinematography, fantastic. I mean, it's like New York was never cleaned up. it kept growing, but it was never cleaned up. And so you have just it's the
Jersey.
seedy. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kenny.
I said Jersey.
Well, hey, come on.
Sorry.
Hey, now.
I'm not going to demean,
Sorry.
no, but
Hey,
I'm
now.
saying, now, neither one of you guys have seen Joker, right?
No.
No, but I grew up in Jersey, so watch it.
Well, no, the thing about Joker,
I'm
and
just
again, I love this about, and Logan, you're like, these are seamless special effects when it comes to the location. So you know how like in Star Wars they had a lot of the matte paintings and stuff like that that just make things look, just ominous when they're not really that big, but you just have matte painting on top of it, and it makes
Classic
it
Star Wars, you're saying?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Practical
Yeah.
effects.
Yeah.
Or trick photography, not special effects.
Sure.
And they make Gotham, huge structures but again, it's always night and there's like neon lights and stuff like that. So it's like Times Square times 10. It's from the 70s. So it's just this. It's an amazing location. It's definitely a character in it, and again, Robert Pattinson.
Does it cross into like kind of a Neo Tokyo kind of a feel?
With a slightly less neon? I would say
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I would say yes. That's an excellent an excellent observation. I would say it'd almost be like a Ghost in the Shell type of a dense.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing or picturing when you were saying that. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I'd say it's kind of like Arcane. It's very vertical. There's all because it's the city, so there's a lot of vertical stuff. But it's just it's so depressing. It's always raining, and they walk in the rain, and the streets are just overrunning with sewage, and it's such a well produced film. Michael Mann, he killed it with this one. And again, you got to remember he did Planet of the Apes, so he has that ability to merge special effects seamlessly with live action and just work the drama. And he just worked the drama. Again, I can't give enough praise to this. You guys definitely got to check it out. I will definitely be doing an in-depth review. Matter of fact, something I was thinking about doing, I'm just spitballing here, is because there's so many fans out there of this movie. I was thinking about, we can do a deep dive review, but open it up to conversations from the audience. So I know a lot of people have a lot of thoughts on it and really want to just integrate that into the next deep dive episode. So out there, you'll probably see a scheduling for the deep dive Batman review, but it'll be inviting you all to jump in the conversation and have your comments read on screen if they're appropriate and if they're applicable to the Batman. So we can all enjoy this wonderful conversation. But
yeah,
you guys, now Logan, are you going to watch it in theaters or wait till?
I don't know. It's getting to the point where I might consider a late night showing. Especially kind of later, in the run when it's, definitely, me and the guy bringing me the popcorn kind of a thing. I'll have to look at times and things, but it's funny. My wife and I were talking the other day that, we're getting to the point where it's been a while since we've been to a movie and there are some things that we'd kind of like to go see, and maybe we'll have to figure out how to make that happen.
You got to be safe. I completely get that. But I'm saying this one is probably going to be on a run, maybe not as much as Spider-Man. I saw it, 3 times only because the first time I bought tickets well in advance and it was IMAX, so I needed to get that experience. And the second 2 times I caught it at the Alamo.
Which IMAX did you go to?
Brambleton.
I'm just debating if I should go. If I only go see it the one time, should I go see it in IMAX?
Yes. Oh, I gotta gush over the Batmobile. It is a muscle car of all muscle cars. It does have the jet engine on the back, and
I had trouble distinguishing what it's built off of.
It's like a Baja rally car.
Okay.
You know when they do those long Baja races where you
Yep.
have the souped up suspension. It's basically if you were to take uh, Fast and the Furious and just put it on a Baja chassis and put an engine on the back of it. It's completely ridiculous, but and it's not practical in any respect, but it works because it's just so it's a grounded over the top vehicle. The physics work. It's just and also here's another thing because he's not that skilled at being Batman yet. He's not that good a driver either. So he's like crashing. He's running into stuff, crashing. He's not doing corners right. It's awesome. And a lot of people will talk about the highway chase scene. It's pretty good. At times, I did lose my geography a little. You know how sometimes when it's cut too close, you can't get a sense of direction. But it was good. It was good, and you see most of it in the trailer anyway. But it's still an awesome scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely need to check out the Batman. We will be doing, like I said, a deep dive review with viewer participation. So stay tuned for that.
And that'll be great. We actually got a comment from one in particular that I remember from our Discord channel. Elrod, I believe, had asked if we were doing some deep dive movie reviews soon. So
really,
hopefully he and some of the others out there can keep an eye on that one. And if you have any other recommendations of ones that are out there currently, we're always taking recommendations.
Absolutely. I am a bona fide cinephile. I go to meetings, but I'm working on it. Any movie.
Is that like AA?
Yeah, exactly. It's CA, Cinephiles Anonymous, and put it out there. Whatever movie. I mean, I've seen almost all the movies anyway, and I always am open to seeing most new ones. So, any recommendations for movies you want to hear us discuss? At least let us know so we can put it on the list. If we've already seen it, we can jump right on it. If not, we'll schedule a viewing and then get back to you. So we love discussing movies, TV shows, but movies are always a special deep dive thing to do. So super cool. Yeah. So again, I will just finish by saying the Batman. Oh, and also the soundtrack, they play Nirvana, Something in the Way, which is like it is a dirge of a 90s grunge song, but it fits. It fits.
Okay.
And I want so much to talk to you about the psychology of Batman and the psychology of the Riddler and it's just there's so much to unpack. So I will be doing that in the deep dive. We can just pontificate over everything. The Joker's outfit. I'm sorry, the Riddler's outfit, not the Joker. Who's better? I have no problem with doing a little head-to-head Joker, Riddler, Batman, Batmobile comparison. So anyway, good stuff. Looking forward to discussing the Batman at a later date. Okay. All right. So now let's talk about the next thing we have on our list. This is a potential I Am Legend sequel.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had no idea about this until you mentioned it before the show.
I
Caught me totally by surprise.
I saw a hint of it on social media, and I was just like, interesting.
I mean, it's been announced for almost a week, and somehow I missed it completely. So
it's wild. It's wild. And yeah, same thing, Logan. I just came across it this week, and it's basically saying Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan will star and produce an I Am Legend follow-up feature. And yeah, it's saying, and Will Smith shared it on his Instagram. A teaser photo, and it's still New York, and it's still overrun with weeds and stuff. There's no real details on the storyline or the plot, but I'm assuming somehow he didn't die when he ran head on into a vampire with a grenade in his hand. Maybe that's the thing.
Well, they say star and produce. They have the order, interestingly. If they said produce and star, it would make sense. But I can't imagine Michael B. Jordan's going to be the producer on it.
No, both of them are producers. I think. Let me see.
Then the only way he's starring is flashbacks. I mean, unless they're going to try and retcon it and say the alternate ending was the real ending.
That's what, and again, there was an alternate ending. So
there
is a thing
where he survived. Yeah.
Well, he survived, and and grew old or something, didn't he? It was
No, I believe the ending was they survived, they kind of snuck out, and it ended on the two of them driving up to whatever that salvation place
ah,
supposedly was that they had identified.
I always get this one confused with World War Z
But yeah,
because those endings. Do you think that's why they changed it because they had kind of the same ending?
I don't really know. It was so different from the book anyway. The book was almost um uh God, it was close to Joss Whedon style vampires,
Mm.
with actual like communication in English and stuff. Like the book was wildly, wildly different than the movie. So I'm not sure what the decisions were at the time to move it in the direction that they did, but I imagine it's going to stay there since it's going to be, I think, written again by Akiva Goldsman, who also co-wrote the first one
Yeah,
and adapted that Richard Matheson's novel for it. So I imagine they're staying in the same whatever it is that they kind of did. I mean, I like Akiva Goldsman. He won a lot for it. I like the first I Am Legend. He's done brilliant things with the Star Trek universe on Paramount. So I'm optimistic at whatever it is he's kind of come up with and putting together. But it certainly doesn't bear a strong lineage from the books or the book.
you know, and again, I Am Legend was that was like what 12 years ago.
2007.
Longer than that,
Yeah,
2007,
jeez. I
15
love.
years ago.
Jeez, I don't
Yeah,
know.
we're getting old.
Yeah, that's I gotta fix that. I will tell you this:
Don't we all?
the premise of it starting off with Will Smith, doing one of those Man Alone in New York.
Mhm.
I loved it. I thought that was brilliant.
Yep.
No dialogue, just him
The
living
first,
a
20, 40
schedule
minutes, whatever. Beautiful. Beautiful.
exactly, and then the CG started.
Circa 2007.
Exactly, and I get it, but here's the thing: I didn't like it when it came out, the CG, the same way I didn't like the CG zombies in World War Z.
Yeah.
I'm a practical effects guy. The eye knows, and unless you can really pull off, a swarm of vampires or a swarm of zombies, don't.
Mhm.
If you can't pull it off and you need to do it CG, do like Lord of the Rings, where you're way back away. They were way too close with a lot of that CG, and the main villain was 100% CG in I Am Legend, and
Yep.
it just looked ridiculous. I couldn't. It took me out of it because the facial expressions I didn't get. And everybody
Yeah.
knows what I'm talking about when he's breaking through the glass, and I don't know, is he smiling? Is he saying? He just had emotions that didn't make any sense, probably because he was a video game.
Mm.
But yeah, I'll tell you what would have in my mind made it Oscar worthy is the story was strong, Will Smith's action was strong. If
Mhm.
they could have just had an amazing practical effects vampire, character, maybe like how they did with 28 Days Later,
Well,
just really really good makeup.
I think
And
actually you may have misspoken said it. I think
mm,
instead of going the zombie horde route, if you go with the, vampire with their own motivations route, a la, oh, what was the Ethan Hawke movie? Daybreak.
Daybreak, yeah.
Where there you see it where it's already come to full fruition, where him and Sam Neill, the vampires kind of rule and the humans are the ones. But if you were to actually put a real life vampire of sorts in there and give them a motivation that actually is both chilling and plausible, then I think you're absolutely right. You really, really would have had something with that.
Well, and again, I didn't read the book, but what in the book isn't Will Smith technically the villain? I mean, Aaron
It's
Neville.
been a long time since I've read the
Not
book.
not Aaron Neville. What's his name? Aaron Neville's the singer, but he's something Neville, right?
He is. What is
Yeah,
it? Robert Neville.
Robert Neville. Thank you, Aaron Neville.
I mean, I read the book honestly probably 10 years before the movie.
Mm.
So we're looking at it's been 25 years since I've read it.
Yikes. Well,
I mean, it's due for a reread. Yeah, Binge Theory read-alongs coming soon. No.
absolutely. Absolutely. I
Ooh,
say
Binge Theory book club. That's even got the whole thing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we're it's been a while since I've read it, so my memory is not good enough to go on record about what happened in it.
But I think at least I heard on other shows, podcasts, and movie reviews, they were saying that to the vampires who were just living their life, Will Smith was the villain because again he did kidnap the king vampire's wife.
He did.
Yeah, so he was kind of hunting them. So he was, what they say, everybody's the hero of their own story. So I guess from the vampire's perspective, Will Smith was the monster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Michael B. Jordan again, can't say enough good things about him. Obviously, you and I have spoken in detail about Creed, and Kenny, have you seen Creed?
Mm-mm.
No, not one or two.
Creed
Okay.
or Creed 2. Oh, so good.
Yeah. Again, Michael B. Jordan he has it. He has the it factor, and I've been a fan of his ever since Fruitvale Station, which was just a heavy role for a guy, whose only real notoriety was playing a teenager on The Wire. So
the first thing I ever saw him in was it Chronicle?
Chronicle.
Oh,
Was it? It was the movie where it's him, is it Dahan?
Yeah, he was in Chronicle.
They were like high schoolers that fell into a hole and they gained powers.
Yeah, that's Power Rangers. I'm joking.
Yeah.
Power Rangers.
But it is kind of the same story.
I think it was Chronicle was the name of the movie.
I didn't know he was in that. It was Dane DeHaan. You're 100% right. I remember
So Dane DeHaan was, like the nerd kind of.
Chronicle.
And Michael B. Jordan, he was the jock that, they were, because it was the three guys that weren't really friends that came together to be friends and then turned into enemies,
Mm-hmm.
But that was the first thing I saw him in, and I actually liked it, and
I gotta check that out.
No,
I did not know that. I definitely got to check that out. I mean, I saw it, but completely forgot he was in it. And of course, he was in that wonderful Oscar-worthy film, Fantastic Four. So that.
There was that.
Yes.
Hey, everybody gets one, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah, he's done just some, some stellar work, and of course, he was Killmonger in the MCU, so
Killed it as Killmonger.
Yeah. He's gonna be a force for a while. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him. And now, but to Logan's point, if Will Smith is only being seen in flashbacks, they probably won't be able to interact, unless. Now, here's the cool thing, and Logan, this may be to your point.
Okay.
Will Smith was doing a lot of recordings.
Mm-hmm.
His scientific research, he was recording everything, backing it up on 6 redundant hard drives.
Mm-hmm.
So if Michael B. Jordan, let's say he's going in there to find the cure or and there's also talks, and again, these are talks.
Sure.
Because they have his blood, that they clone him. That's it. It's a talk. So who knows? But I'm interested.
For all we know, he's turned, and you're going to see him under prosthetics or CG.
Oh no! That I think that I saw like an image of him with fangs.
He doesn't play the bad guy often, but I mean, it would be a shock if he were all of a sudden the new big bad of it.
Or that would be. Or he ends up not being the bad guy.
Yeah, maybe because here's the thing. Wait a second. Remember, he was quote unquote immune from the virus. That's the only reason that he could keep functioning. But to your point, like let's say, he somehow got infected and he becomes basically Blade, the Daywalker.
Basically a hybrid. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a Daywalker,
and Michael B. Jordan leads a team in to save the research to bring back humanity, and they run into him half-turned running a functional civilization of whatever you want to call him.
Yes. They,
Could
yeah.
be an interesting.
I do know that I did read that Will Smith was not in initially. Like he was like, no, I'm not doing a I Am Legend 2. But
Yeah.
apparently whatever Michael B. Jordan pitched is
Sold.
what got him to sign on.
Mhm.
Good. Well, again, I'm hoping that it's something strong because,
Yeah.
but then again, I'll be frank. Will Smith does not have the best movie taste in the world. Remember, he's the guy that passed on The Matrix because he didn't understand it. He was like,
Hey, he also
Yeah,
says
but
he also
he
said it was
has.
his big. He said that was his biggest movie regret.
Mhm.
yeah,
And he owns that.
Yeah, he owns it and he understood it. He had a string of blockbusters back when $100 million were blockbusters, and
we
you
talked
know,
about, yeah, we talked about this. Yeah.
certainly able to do that. And he's, King Richard has gotten him, I think, what his first Screen Actors Guild, as well as another Oscar nom and some other things. Or his first, wasn't it? I don't remember what it was. It was something that he just got from that. So he's kind of riding high on that. Yeah, his first Screen Actors Guild Award. So he's riding high on King Richard, and Bel Air, the kind of the dramatic update to his comedy show just launched
Mhm.
on
Yep.
Peacock, as well as what else he's got going. So he's had some misses, sure. I mean, you can't talk about that without saying Wild Wild West. But he has a career to be proud of.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's been doing dramatic roles. Let's not forget 6 Degrees of Separation.
Mm-hmm.
That was
7
like,
pounds.
And I'm actually excited about him and Michael B. Jordan because I'm hoping some of the breadth of the roles that he's taken as a comedian, as a dramatic actor, as a romantic lead, as a sci-fi action hero. I'm hoping that in their collaboration together, some of that can kind of maybe rub off on Michael B. Jordan a bit. And as I've said many times before, he can do the romantic lead. He can break into a comedy. Like he does what he does well, and he continues to do it well, and it is always worth going to see.
I would,
But
and I,
there is a lack of breadth in his depth and in his portfolio that hopefully spending time and working with somebody like Will Smith, who has that in his portfolio, can only help to broaden his horizons.
you and I spoke about this before. I would love to see him in a comedy.
Oh yeah.
Just I think he has the physicality and the
Mhm.
expressions where he could probably just kill it. I'm not talking. I'm
Yeah.
talking like
And I
Chris
mean, he's
Tucker.
done daytime television. We
Yeah.
saw kind of his drama and his emotion level in Creed. To have him be the core of a well-written, dramatic romantic heartbreaker, it would be, substantial. It would be
Well,
impressive. It would.
it's funny you should say that. Now this isn't technically a romantic role, but he is in a. There is a film that I think is either coming out or it already came out with him where it's like remember the movie with Richard Dreyfuss, Always, where
Vaguely.
yeah, it's I think the premise of it, and I could be slaughtering it, so forgive me,
Mhm.
is that he's starting a family,
Okay.
and I think he finds out he has a terminal sickness, or he goes off to war, but he has like a journal that he's been writing in.
Oh,
Mm.
Journal for Jordan.
There you go. Yeah. What
Oh, okay.
yeah, and
Well, that came out last year, I think.
I can never tell.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah,
I'm
it came out in 2021.
gonna. What did it come out in theaters? Because I don't remember seeing that.
I don't think it did.
Yeah, it might have gone to. I'm pulling it up right now on the interwebs,
Okay.
and okay, it was
And I mean,
Apple
look,
Apple
I'll say
TV.
too right now, I haven't seen all his movies, so he may have, and I just may have missed it.
I've not seen
But
this. I just heard about it. But to the point, I think you're spot on. Somebody else was thinking like you, but they're not paying you. They're just doing it on their own. Here's the synopsis. Deployed to Iraq, First Sergeant Charles Monroe King starts to keep a journal of love and advice for his infant son. Back at home, Dana Kennedy a senior editor of the New York Times, revisits the story of her unlikely life-altering relationship with King and his. Oh, so it's basically he was writing a journal. He died, I believe, in Iraq, and it's about a reporter interviewing his wife, his widowed wife, and her just recounting a lot of the things that probably was, encapsulated in that journal.
Okay.
It was directed by Denzel Washington.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It looks really, really interesting. Based on a Journal for Jordan, which is an actual story. Interesting. Didn't do great at the box office, 6.7, which is, but again, with these, theaters and things the way they are,
Sure.
it is what it is. But yeah, so off on our Michael B. Jordan, Will Smith tangent. I Am Legend, the sequel. I think that could be something. If they do it right, I think that could be something special.
Excited.
Cool. All right. Now, speaking of sequels and big budget films, DCEU has shifted around.
Yeah.
They're wonderful.
I saw some of that.
Yeah. So it is interesting though, because they initially had I think Aquaman and the Flash and Black Adam coming out this year, and everything got pushed around. But what's funny is they moved Shazam up, because Shazam was going to be last year. They moved him up this year. So I don't know the strategy behind that, but it how sometimes they also want to do like counter programming. So maybe it's just that the Batman, that's their big DC property for up until summer, and then they'll hand it off to the Flash. What do you think? That could be a strategy.
It's possible. I mean, I will be the first to say I have no idea what DC is thinking 90% of the time.
Yeah.
That caveat aside, theoretically, Black Adam is a spin-off of
Flash. I mean,
Shazam.
Yeah.
So it does make sense with the pseudo little, teaser we got in the first one, that if there is some more fleshing out of that in the second, and it's possible, it would make sense for Shazam to come out first leading into Black Adam. Yeah. Dwayne Johnson's a big enough sell on his own to pull anything pretty much in theater, but Shazam rocked at the box office the first time. It was a big surprise, and it did really well, and Zachary Levi killed it. And if they can capture some of that and lead that into Dwayne Johnson's star power himself, that may make more sense to kind of set that schedule up that way.
Yep.
I think if you had the time to kind of finish Aquaman and throw him out first, Momoa can stand on his own and keep kind of that DC allure alive. And I think that's what they were counting on, because they weren't sure how the Batman was going to hit. If the Batman failed, I don't think this schedule would have changed, because you still would have had Momoa coming in to kind of save the day with Aquaman, reinvigorate things again, and then run into the rest of what they're trying to do. Since it worked, they're not in as much of a panic mode about their theatrical releases. So now they can sequence them a little bit more appropriately, kind of in universe, if you will.
Yeah.
But then again, it's DC, so what the hell do I know?
I like the idea of Black Adam following Shazam. I mean, in the comics, that's the Black Adam is like the, anti-Shazam.
Yeah.
Right? They're enemies. And they have similar powers.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, you need the he's the Joker to the Batman. He's the Sea King to Aquaman. The counterpart. I am curious. Well, and also evidently, though, because the Black Adam is on his own, Shazam is on his own, but obviously they're going to tie into a face-off. I don't think they're going to do it in either one of these movies coming up, but probably in 2 years or so they'll have Shazam versus Black Adam.
I think it's going to be more than that, because I think they're going to pull in Henry Cavill too. And I think it's going to be a whole Shazam, Black Adam, Superman. They're going to do some
Black
sort
Adam
of
is powerful.
Yeah.
And Dwayne Johnson himself has been pulling for Henry Cavill's Superman to be kind of included in. There was the cameo that was supposed to be the first time that was kind of a Superman cameo, but you never saw his head, so it was Henry Cavill, not Henry Cavill. And I know he still, doesn't want to give up the cape and the S yet. So I feel like that's going to kind of be the whole, how like Batman versus Superman was kind of the lead into the last Avengers. I feel like last Justice League.
Justice League, yes.
Oof, I'll take the doctor points for that one.
Well, come on, a lot of these characters lived in both universes.
It's not okay. I get it. I think that kind of a pre-ensemble movie before the ensemble of all of them again together, though I'm not sure what villain in particular they're going to pull. But I think it kind of leads into a second, if not just alternative Justice League, but some other sort of combined superhero movie that needs to kind of team up to save the world, kind of a thing.
So it's almost like they're trying to retrace their steps and have a solo build up into a team.
It's like they're doing it the way Marvel did. Yes.
Yeah, just 20 years after the fact.
20 years after the fact, with half the actors who were part of the first failed attempt to do it the wrong way. Yes.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I mean, Marvel had Fantastic Four, and it had Punisher. So,
and I liked both of those, the Fantastic Fours.
Yeah, the second, there were things.
The characters were relatively true. I mean, Michael Chiklis is Michael Chiklis, and you have some other, Captain America as Human Torch, and some other things that maybe don't hit entirely, but
and again, time. Don't get me wrong. Jessica Alba, that's one of my longtime crushes. However, I do not want her in a blonde wig with blue contacts. No. I just don't want it. Yeah, I thought that was a miss. I thought they could have applied
hugely
her.
So.
And also let's be frank, the dancing scene with Reed Richards that's jumping the shark.
It totally is, but I do love that Reed Richards.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Hey, now what about this? What if in Doctor Strange, that's the Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four?
Oh, that would be. I would be.
There's a strong possibility of that.
As long as he's not going to be the new Reed Richards, but because this is the multiverse, why not?
Anybody.
I think there's a possibility we'll see that Reed Richards in Doctor Strange.
That would be interesting.
I want to see the Human Torch.
The reason I say that is because where we're gonna see the Patrick Stewart, Charles Xavier, is not gonna be like an X-Men kind of thing. It's gonna be the Illuminati.
Oh yeah, no, that's it.
Which Reed Richards was a part of,
and Reed Richards was a part of that Illuminati. So I think that's where we're gonna see this crossover. Is Strange is going to go before the Illuminati, and it's going to be Patrick Stewart. It's going to be,
Black Panther's also in the Illuminati.
But I don't want to see a CG Black Panther.
We're not going to see it.
But here's the thing:
they'll use other characters.
And to your point, Katie, it is absolutely the Illuminati that they're bringing.
There's no question.
But they're saying, internet, is that because we're in the multiverse, and who knows which Illuminati it is, or if these Illuminatis are pulled from different universes. So yeah, you could have the Fantastic Four circa early 2000s, Reed Richard, and you could have a potential what if Killmonger was Black Panther.
And we saw that in What If.
Yeah, exactly. What if Michael B. Jordan was Black Panther? Again, hypothetically.
Do you keep the Black Panther's mask on, and do you have enough lines from Chadwick Boseman to make it work?
Ooh, I see.
No, they won't do that.
Yeah, I'm not saying they wouldn't. I
I can tell you right now, they wouldn't do that.
Okay. Kenny apparently is in some meetings that I'm not in. So,
name another Marvel movie where they've done that. Besides Iron Man.
Marvel, no.
They're not gonna do that because.
So you're just saying they're gonna make Don Cheadle?
No, because they've been so adamant about like the second Black Panther movie.
Yeah, they're gonna make Don Cheadle's gonna be the Black Panther. That's what's gonna happen.
No, they won't disrespect Chad Boseman like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think they saw the reaction with Princess Leia and how people were just like, oh, just.
I disagree. They keep doing it.
Yes.
We just had completely weirdly slowed down CG, but better looking Luke for an episode.
Yeah, but it's Star Wars.
But it's all
Star Wars
Disney.
is already ruined, so they're like, we don't care.
All Disney.
Well, but and to be fair, Mark Hamill's still alive. So
which makes it even more utterly confusing.
So we've gone completely from Warner Brothers to Disney.
Yes. Yeah. Well, let me put it this way, Kenny. The gravitational pull of Disney is too strong for Warner Brothers, so it eventually sucks us all in. That would be interesting.
Maybe that's Disney's next acquisition.
Oh, please. Let me ask you this: is there such a thing as a cinematic monopoly? Like the Ma Bell and how they had to break up the phone company. You think
if Disney bought DC, there would be.
Really?
I don't know if Disney bought DC. I think if Disney bought Warner Brothers.
From a studio perspective, that would never happen because that would be a functional movie business monopoly that would have a thing. But if Disney just bought DC, that would be an unofficial cinematic monopoly over the superhero genre.
True, but you get where I'm going,
and that's not necessarily something that could be monopoly busted or whatever. I don't necessarily think through some of the things. If they bought Warner Brothers, that would lead to too much of a consolidation in the movie production market itself.
Yeah,
and that would be there's no question that would never be allowed regulation wise.
Really,
if they bought DC, it's debatable. It's unlikely.
I would say it's very unlikely because I don't see DC selling to Disney. I think DC would be like, you can't afford us, and Disney would be like, well, we could write many zeros behind this number, but I think just for the fact that DC bought Marvel, Disney bought Marvel, DC would never give in.
I would agree, but you have to remember it's not DC, it's Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
And Warner Brothers doesn't necessarily have that same kind of understanding. If there are enough zeros that could literally save their entire business from whatever thing, I don't think it's entirely off the table, but I think they're going to milk it for every zero possible.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, they keep cranking out. Warner Brothers Animated Studios keeps cranking out DC animated movies.
The animation side has been stellar. Their animation cinematic universe has put anything Marvel's done to utter shame.
Yeah. And And again, don't get me wrong, I like the stories on the DC animation, but since I'm such a Japanese animation fan, I've always kind of found it wanting. You know, the
Mhm.
again, not the stories, but just the and you know, I want to be uh I want to be, you know, understanding in the fact that they're cranking out, you know, like 2 or 3 of these a year, but it looks when you compare it to some of the great Japanese animation you know, movies of, and again, I know these are not cinematic movies, they're
I was
like
gonna say
direct.
that, like you're comparing apples to oranges.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I like apples and they're giving me oranges. So
Mhm.
that's my point.
That's your fault.
No, that's their fault. I'm the consumer.
No,
I'm the consumer.
yeah, but if you go to a market that only sells apples and you want oranges, that's your fault.
No, get some apples.
No, that's not how business works. Business has a product.
Yes.
You as a consumer either choose to consume that product or
Yes.
not.
Yeah, that is fair. And that's why I'm not consuming oranges, you know, because it's they're orange.
I mean, but that is you. You know,
It is. And again, you know, again, don't get me wrong, I'm not faulting them. I'm just saying I find it wanting.
but that's because you're comparing apples to oranges.
But listen, no, I've seen some great American animation. I mean, I've seen great Disney animation, Pixar animation. I'm just saying that the Warner Brothers animated studios, although they have great stories, I like, you know, the Batman stuff, and I like a lot of the Justice League stuff they've done. It's I think they could just dial it up a little more, invest a little more into the animation, and it would be classic. Because again, I even watched, what was it? I went to theaters to watch the Batman animated one that came out a few years ago. What was that? Was that No, it was the Joker. The Joker movie,
The Killing Joke.
The Killing Joke. Ah, I mean, I
It
guess
was it was just okay.
and again, it was the story. I love the comic book,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mhm.
it's when you see really high level animation, whether it's
Have you
Japanese,
watched Have you watched The Dark Knight Returns?
yeah, yeah.
And you didn't like those?
I like this. I mean, you know, that's one of my favorite comic books of all time. Favorite graphic novels of all time is The Dark Knight Returns, and I like some of the things that they put into it as well. The series, and it was not bad, but let me put it this way: have you seen Gotham by Gaslight?
No.
Check that out. That has a lot of 3D rendering, but it's just such a more a fluid animation of Batman, and I think that is part of the Warner Brothers animation. I
It
think,
is.
yeah,
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
And have you seen Batman Ninja?
No, that's really 3D. You know, that is like,
It is.
I mean, you know, CG. I mean, you know,
It's CG, but it's animated.
yeah,
It's a full on anime, and I think it's another example of an absolutely bonkers story that, because it was done and produced and so well and looks so, quite frankly, so damn beautiful, that you just kind of let it go, and you know it becomes something greater than what it is. Like it was gorgeous, but it was bonkers.
Yeah.
100%. And I do remember that there was one, uh, and I forget the name of it, and it kills me. But there's one animated Batman series where it's from kids' perspective, and they're telling stories of the Batman, and each one is like a little vignette. And to your point, Kenny, they're telling the story of the Batman. You know what? My fault. This was actually the I think it was Batman the animated series, and they had one
Hmm.
episode where these kids were telling stories of Batman, and they were just describing him differently because they had different perceptions of what he looked
Yeah.
like. So
Hmm.
yeah, they were doing like the campy Batman, the Dark Knight Returns Batman, and all these different types. There's been so many good Batman stories over the years.
I'll tell you. So, from the DC animated universe, Green Lantern, First Flight. I think it's First Flight, or is it? I think it's First Flight, because it basically it's like all the Green Lanterns have to come together to take on this one baddie. I can't, essentially like a planet-sized villain. I can't remember who the villain is, but while they're all waiting, there's like a brand new Green Lantern that's just joined, and
is it a young woman?
yeah,
Yes.
and basically like other Green Lanterns are telling her the stories of like the first Green Lantern and and like how Kilowog became like a Green Lantern, and it was like, I thought that was really cool. Like it was like all these kind of how like how they overcame these their obstacles and that made them Green Lanterns, because she was doubting herself. That's one of my favorites.
I did like that.
And Justice League versus Teen Titans.
That was a good one.
I like that one.
What about Justice League versus?
The
what about
Justice Paradox is one of my favorites.
Say that again.
Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah, that.
How do you go wrong with the Flashpoint story?
And Justice League, Throne of Atlantis.
What about Justice League, Dark Apocalypse War?
I haven't seen that one, but I've seen Justice League War.
Well, the Justice League Dark aspect of it was interesting, and I liked a lot of that because they added in John Constantine, and he's probably one of my favorites, especially after Matt Ryan's portrayal. But even kind of before that, he added a nice complement to, Zatanna and Dr. Fate and some of those other kind of magic only users that really, it adds a balance of power to kind of the Supermans and Wonder Womans that doesn't exist to kind of the superheroes on the Marvel component.
Yeah. And you know what? I found out the one that I was talking about. It's called Batman Gotham Knight, and it was a movie. And here's the synopsis. Batman Gotham Knight is a 2008 animated superhero anthology based on the comic on DC. The film consists of 6 segments produced by Japanese animation studios. Okay, so of course I love it because it's done with the precision and care of a Japanese studio, not whoever they farm it out to. My point being, it's awesome because it's 6 different interpretations of Batman, kind of like how Star Wars did the that animated series. What was that called? Does anybody remember that? On it's a Star Wars animation. It's like Star Wars Legends or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's out right now on
God, I don't even remember if I watched all of that.
I couldn't make it. I couldn't make it through those, but yeah, there was one that was a direct ripoff of Kurosawa. But not a rip. It's just that's what it was. That's what Star Wars is partially based off of. So
it wasn't Bad Batch.
No.
No.
It's a slick.
It's a Japanese anime one.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm looking.
I think it's like Star Wars Legends, or
I think it's Legends.
Yeah. But yeah, you have
Visions.
Star
Wars Visions.
Yes, there you go. Star Wars Visions.
Another unique word that they never overuse.
Yes, and Vision shows up, and it's he uses the Mind Stone because it's all Disney. But yeah, so you guys definitely should check out Batman Gotham Knight. Matter of fact, let me see. Is this on? It's on Amazon. Shoot.
You talking about Batman Gotham Knight?
Yeah.
They're all on HBO Max.
Perfect. Then you know what?
All the DC stuff, all the animated, everything is on HBO Max.
Awesome. Then you know what I'm going to do? I'm definitely going to do a watch party with that
Yeah.
on
Gotham
our
by
senior.
Gaslight's on there.
Yeah, no, you will like it. It's awesome. So maybe you guys can join me and again, beautiful animation, which quite frankly, the way Batman is, I think is the only way to do it is Japanese animation, where you get that fluid fighting, but also just the really slick grappling hook action and all that fun stuff.
I mean, as far as the DC animated stuff, most of the DC animated movies, I just thoroughly enjoy. On the flip side, on the Marvel, I can only think of like two.
And I'm kind of with you on that. I'm not
yeah.
really big.
Planet Hulk and the animated Doctor Strange.
Huh.
Okay.
Those I mean there. If you have not watched, if you've never seen Planet Hulk, I highly recommend it. It's basically it's similar to Thor Ragnarok, right?
Well, yeah,
Mhm.
There's
yeah,
parts that came from Planet Hulk, right?
correct.
Where Hulk is forced to be a gladiator. But there's a whole different ending to that. And then the animated Doctor Strange,
That was pretty good.
it is pretty good and very similar to the live action.
I think I remember showing that one to my wife because she had no idea who Strange was before we went to go see it, because it was that good and that fantastic of kind of a background and a history that it was worth
It is
seeing before we
really,
went to go see it in theater.
but it was really
was
good.
Very good.
I might have to check that out.
Like
Yeah.
So Doctor Strange, his cockiness, like Benedict Cumberbatch does he gets the cockiness for the most part. The Doctor Strange cockiness in the animated is like true Doctor Strange cockiness. Like,
Oh yeah.
his ego is like way up there.
I'm definitely gonna have
And
to.
you see, and he has and to me, the struggle he has in the animated version in terms of when he goes to, the what is it? The monk village he goes to, right, to learn.
Mm-hmm.
He has a much deeper struggle, and they portray it really well. Like, starts out like they give him a room with some hay in it to sleep in, and then as he like earns, as he basically I don't know the term, like progresses,
Yeah,
and becomes more, takes on more of like that monk kind of lifestyle. They basically give him more privileges and more, better accommodations.
he slowly ascends to the Sorcerer Supreme, kind of like
Kind of.
LaRusso became the Karate Kid, with a lot of waxing on and waxing off.
Yeah, kind of.
There you go. There you go.
Mhm.
Well, I love the animation series, so we definitely got to do some watch parties.
Yep.
Of these. We'll have them on our Cena account. The link is in the description. We'll start hosting a lot of those, and I think people will enjoy it because it's good animation. But again, guys, you got to see Gotham Knight. It totally caught me off guard. It also reminds me of when they came out with the Animatrix. And,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
several different styles of storytelling, which is great when you have ADD, ADHD like me, and you just love the short.
Some of them I still remember.
Oh yeah, I mean the visuals of a mechanical horse on fire running, and so, some of the.
I remember the muscles exploding of the runner on the track.
Yes,
I to this day I can picture that clear as day.
Well,
Like,
you're a runner, so
yeah, there's that. Yeah,
but you're 100% right. Yeah, when he was running so fast, he broke
Yeah.
the Matrix. That was
and
an amazing
himself.
scene.
Yeah, it was just wild.
Yeah, no, great scenes, and not too close to home, but yeah, when they were having the political negotiations to stave off war, it was it was quite. I did also now I'm trying to remember because they have a lot of these vignettes that are tied into other movies.
Hmm.
I remember they had it was a small animated series based on Blade Runner. I think it was like Blade Runner Blackout. And it was like a pre a pre
Hmm.
a, a prequel to the Blade Runner 2049.
Okay.
So between the first Blade Runner and the second, there was like this mission that they did to kind of, but also that's what I'm
Black
saying.
Lotus, I think.
Well, no. There's that one
Blade
too.
Runner, not Black Lotus.
No. That's CG. That's like a series on Adult Swim. This one was
Oh.
like a short. It was a short animation.
Oh, okay.
Similar to, it wasn't a series. It was like a small vignette animation,
Hmm.
and I forget what it's called, but I think it might have been Blackout. I'm
Okay.
not sure. But anyway, they're always good, like little companion pieces. So
Yeah.
I'm googling it right now. So Blade Runner.
Yeah. Yeah. Pacific Rim, I think had that too.
Yeah. Now they came out. These are all.
It was a series on Netflix though.
Yes.
Into the Black, I think.
Yes, and it did have what do you call it? That it's what type of animation style would you call that? The same thing for Batman Ninja. It's like a 3D animation.
It's almost computer generated anime, maybe, instead of hand drawn anime. I don't know. There's a lot of things where it's like I've been watching a lot of Demon Hunter, and that I feel like has kind of the hybrid where it's a lot of drawn and animated. I mean, it's so beautiful
Yeah.
in the way they combine it, and they've been doing a lot with kind of mixing those mediums, I guess, if you will. And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what you would call. Without looking it up, I wouldn't know just from watching it.
Yeah. But we all know we know what we're talking
Yeah.
about. It's the,
Yeah.
and I found the name. It's called Blade Runner Blackout 2022.
Ah, okay.
Yes, and it's a 15-minute short film. So
There you go.
again, those short animations are just so well produced and stuff like that. So I'm definitely jazzed about doing some of these nice watch parties using on our Cena account and just going through tons of animation and sci-fi and drama and all the things. We'll balance it out, but what we'll probably end up doing is sending out like a monthly schedule of the watch parties so people can schedule their lives around us, which is how it should be. Good stuff. And by the way, everybody, look at Logan's awesome mug.
How convenient.
Get your own.
There you go. Yeah, that's his. You need to get your own, and you can get it at the link.
I mean, for the right price, you could have mine, but
there you go.
I don't know if that's worth it to you. Really.
Maybe you can sign it. That's always the thing. But
I could sign it and mail it to you.
See right here in the crawler, you can get the merchandise at bingenetwork.com. So you can get shirts, mugs, hats, tumblers, all the things that you need to show your fashion sense wearing Binge Theory apparel. So good stuff. And a lot of stuff coming out. I'm again thoroughly excited about doing a deep dive review with our viewers on the Batman. And guys, hopefully we can, Logan, you can get there. Kenny, I think you're probably going to be catching it in the next week. But again, you got to be safe because even though we're in a lull of COVID, you don't want to be, the one that discovers the new variant. Nobody wants that title. Hey, I
And there's still
discovered.
those really, really youngins who don't really have the protection or other, perhaps immunocompromised family members who doesn't matter what you do, no vaccine would take for them right now. So
That very
there's
true.
lots of different things. So, be gracious, be understanding, and we all got to do as best we can and what we got to do.
100%. I mean, you got to be safe out there, and hopefully this will pass,
Hmm.
and maybe we'll get beyond it. Um, but again, be
And there's
safe.
a lot coming out. I don't know if my wife is necessarily up for the Batman, but between Doctor Strange and Morbius and some of the others coming out, there are some real temptations to brave a late night out at Alamo.
Now that's what I was saying is I could definitely recommend, of course, masking up and doing a late night away from everybody
Hmm.
Alamo, just to take precautions in your own hand. I mean, I see movies at any time. I'll see a movie for breakfast. It doesn't matter for me. And the Alamo, oh, that's such a cheap date night because. Oh, and also, I told you guys I have the Alamo Movie Pass.
Hmm.
So, and that is awesome. That's like I think it's like $20 a month for you can see a movie a day. So let's see if
As
I
long as
can.
you buy their food, right?
Yeah. Well, what's funny is you could or you could not. I mean,
Yeah.
they're planning on you buying it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Spending $30. And they have good
I
food.
just get
So,
that. I just get the never-ending popcorn, and I'm good.
you know what? I've not eaten popcorn in a while. I think it's because they spoil me with they have the Royale with cheese hamburger,
Mm.
which is
Oh,
I
their
just
buffalo cauliflower.
buffalo
So
cauliflower.
good.
I'll tell you what. I got hooked on their pizzas
yep.
Okay.
because during Spider-Man they had a Joker. No, I'm sorry, not Joker. Jeez, forgive me, internet. They had a Goblin pizza.
Nice.
Yeah, and
I get hooked on their pizzas because as much as I like the other food,
mhm.
I have to be able to see to eat, and pizza is just one of those things that you can navigate fairly easily. Like if I remember the one of the first times I went to the Alamo and I tried to get a burger and it was a disaster. But just because
Really?
there was not enough light for me to see
Hmm.
to eat, and like I could not pick up the hamburger without just getting just messy, and I was just like, nope, not doing this again. So I stuck with pizzas and popcorn um and their shakes.
I will say
Oh,
that
okay.
I will say you're not wrong about the burger. I mean, you need to lean into the bar and you're double fisting it and eating it, like a
Hmm.
caveman over a fire. And it does take away from the movie because you can't focus on the movie while you're, you know.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this one thing I started, and again, this is ironic because it's not healthy, but I was like, I started eating their Cobb salad,
Ooh, that
and
sounds good.
it is good. It's delicious. Eggs,
Hmm.
bacon, little bits of ham and chicken in there.
Oh yeah.
But to the point, you need to be able to focus on the food because
Yes.
you're eating with a fork in a bowl, and it's delicious, but it is kind of hard. But yeah, Kenny's 100% right. The pizza's the way to go. You just get it, fold it,
Hmm.
and you're just munching on it. But they also have and again, this could have been just a Spider-Man thing, but they had goblin fries.
Mm.
And I think they're just typical things, but it's the seasoning. They had like spicy green
Nice.
chili, yeah, on it. So it was like it's hot.
Hmm.
Yeah. But Alamo, matter of fact, you know what? Uh and I don't think they do it anymore. Remember, we were talking about potentially
Oh
maybe
yes.
doing watch. I think after they kind of got their legs back under them after the
They stopped
shutdown.
doing the
Mhm.
rentals.
Yeah. Well, I think you can still do them, but it's
It's not as cheap.
It has
yeah,
not as cheap and it's be a little bit more business oriented, I think now.
right, right. So
But at the same time, kind of the end of a run, you can certainly all still plan a day and just
yeah,
get some tickets at the day.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent point. Yeah, we can just say we'll be there. You can be there. Of course, they won't let us stand up in front of the theater and do addressing the crowd.
No, but at the same time, when they're doing the pre-show, they don't necessarily mind you walking around or going in or out or getting what you got to get to. So, we're there with some shirts or other stuff. It won't be hard to pick us out of a not crowd.
But I go to the Alamo just to watch their pre-show stuff.
Their pre-shows are fabulous. Oh,
Yeah,
very
fantastic.
well produced.
Yes.
Logan and I do video editing, and I will sit there and just be like, "Oh, I got to rip off that font," or "I love that transition," or "Oh, the half tone background."
My favorite to date pre-show that they have ever done wasn't even for a new movie. It was when they were re-showing the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So they were doing the extended editions, and it was like one Tuesday was Fellowship, the next Tuesday was Two Towers, and then the next Tuesday was the Return of the King, and Claire and I went, and the pre-show was just beyond anything I expected, because you're like, I just didn't expect it to be as well done, and for them to have so much pre-show footage. They had it was like this cheesy video from YouTube where these just LARPers were basically redoing their own cheap version of the films. Then they did the video. They're taking the hobbits to Isengard. Oh my God. I had no clue about that. It's like a 2-minute song. And what you'd come to find out, though, is there's actually a YouTube version that's 10 hours long.
Oh, the Lord of the Rings filk is just incredible.
Yes. But they had so much good stuff. That and I wasn't there early enough for this latest Spider-Man No Way Home, but what was the one before it? Far From Home? So Far From Home, the pre-show footage they had was just, I was just in tears, cracking up, because they had all these, I didn't even know that there were so many like random Spider-Man movies.
Oh yeah.
Or rip-offs, right? Like, and they just, I'm like, who combs
their historians, their archivists, their editors, just astonishing.
Yeah. And you're like, where do you guys dig this stuff up? And it's just like, and I mean, it's hilarious.
Well, I remember when the Avengers came out, they had a pre-show, and and I think before the Avengers was even a thing, they had like a Macy's parade or something, and they had all these poorly dressed characters as Hulk and Captain America and Daredevil and Spider-Man, all fighting DC characters. It was a.
Well, what else do they have at Avengers? They had they found clips from David Hasselhoff as his turn as Nick Fury.
Yes,
like the things they dug up from I don't even know where. Just incredible.
Yeah. And also, like for Spider-Man, I know
Punisher.
Yes.
They dug it up, man.
Oh yeah, no. Well, here's the real good stuff. Is like, I know when the first Spider-Man came out in theaters, the first Tom Holland Spider-Man, they were showing Spider-Man from different countries, and I think you've seen these like the Turkish Spider-Man or the Japanese Spider-Man.
There's a Mexican Spider-Man.
I remember they had the Japanese Spider-Man, and it was, don't get me wrong, not a cinema quality, but it was a movie. It was an actual movie, and his powers were bizarrely different than the Marvel version. But and I think one flew. It's amazing. And and also they did clips that you find on YouTube with like birthday parties where they have the the discount Marvel
Yes.
guys dancing and twerking and doing all the things that the kids do these days, dabbing, whatever they are. So
really, what we're trying to say is, if you don't watch movies at the Alamo Draft House, you should be watching movies at the Alamo Draft House.
yes,
You should be going
Draft
half
House
an
is
hour
not paying us
early.
for this advertisement. We just all really enjoy going there, and if you've never experienced a movie at the Alamo, you need to. It's
Yeah.
it's
Much like
so
the
worth it.
HBO paycheck that never came in, the
Yeah.
Alamo paycheck's never coming in either. But
No.
go there half an hour early because their pre-shows are nothing you've ever seen.
Yep.
absolutely. And if you and also besides just the entertainment value, they will have breakdowns, especially when it comes to like these comic book universes. They will have literally breakdowns of the storyline, narrated wonderfully and using clips from actual comic strips to give you the backstory.
They did that for No Way Home.
Yep, 100%.
It was like literally right before the movie started, or right before the trailers started. It was like a 2-minute just here's how we got here. And I can't remember who was the actor that I can't remember the actor they had that narrated it. Oh, but it was awesome. I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah, they have these summaries that encapsulate everything in 2 minutes. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. It was a personality that they had. I forget.
It was like, here's how we got here.
Yeah. And also, of course, they sometimes they do the don't talk or text before the movie, and they get cameos from different actors and stuff like that. It was for Black Panther. They had to literally Chadwick Boseman, and
they've had Samuel L. Jackson.
Well, yeah, that's Samuel Jackson, but that's kind of a go-to. He's going to be just say quiet. Speaking of Samuel Jackson, did you know?
There?
Yes, exactly. That was a wonderful transition. Real quick, now this is not really newsworthy stuff, but it's quite entertaining.
Of course, it is.
It's something to make you say, "Huh, I didn't know that," and now you can tell people at parties that you knew this, and you can seem insightful into the Hollywood business. But if you were to say, who was the person that was the king of the curse words in cinema, who would you say says most of the curse words in movies? Wrong. You are wrong. It's actually Jonah Hill.
So
wow.
Here's what I would say. I would say if you're going to use the phrase "king of curse words,"
yes,
you have to define that. You have to qualify that statement.
Okay,
because there's just if somebody says the F word a lot, or just uses a lot of cuss words, great, whatever. But when you're talking about the king of curse words, it is who I would look at it as in your mind when which actor uses curse words, with the most authority, and just makes it screen worthy, right? Not just curse words to curse.
Well, they didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's the people's choice, and there's the statistical winner.
Yeah. Data analysis says Jonah Hill. People's choice is Samuel L. Jackson.
And honestly, I probably would have guessed in like the Seth Rogen category, because let's be real.
Yeah.
Sure, Samuel L. Jackson comes to mind. I think if you were to, I'd like to see it broken down by winner per word. I think that would be an interesting statistic to see. And maybe, Sam Jackson would win there. But yeah, there's a difference between numerical count. There's a difference between how emphatically and how memorable the word usage is.
That's what it is.
That's what I was trying to say. That's Logan's English major coming out of him.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Is nobody will ever say that Samuel Jackson does not have the most impactful curse words in cinematic history. He says it with an exclamation mark, where Jonah Hill says it as part of his dialogue. Here's just from Variety. That's where I pulled this story. Uh, that's some bull beep. Jackson said with a laugh when finding out that he did not hold the record. No way, Jonah Hill and Leo. Really, I don't believe that somebody has miscounted. I don't. Okay, so here's what. Buzz Bingo surveyed over 3,500 film scripts and reported that Hill had used 376 swear words throughout his filmography, with the majority of curse words split between Superbad and The Wolf of Wall Street. DiCaprio had 361 curse words, followed by Samuel L. Jackson with 301 curse words.
That's all because he didn't curse in Star Wars.
Well, I bet after they cut off his hands, he did. You know, all the way down.
You count the scream on the way down, he totally wins it there.
All the way down. You know, if you're on those lower floors, you're just seeing a guy fly by screaming F-bombs. That's my Star
It's
Wars.
Corsican said it's a long way down.
Exactly. And I still believe he's alive. I still do believe he's alive. But anyway, so yeah, that's an interesting thing is that Jonah Hill curses more, but not as impactful as Samuel Jackson. So there you go. Now you're fun at parties.
Yeah. Can break that one out when the conversation gets dull.
Exactly. So did you know that Jonah Hill is a potty mouth?
That's just how you should say it to be cool.
Exactly. You know, filth, flarn, filth, as some would say. So, gentlemen, we have covered everything: the Batmans, the Will Smiths, the DCEU, the Obi-Wan. Awesome trailer, teaser. Yeah. It wasn't a real trailer; it was teaser. And honestly, I didn't even see that much of Obi-Wan in it. It was more just like atmosphere and you know, a little narration. So we'll see.
Teaser.
Exactly. It definitely was teasing. And
teasers have gotten a lot less fruitful.
You know what? I mean, now Logan and I had the dedication to do the Loki live watch parties.
Oh yes, the good old days.
Oh geez, what was it like? What time?
3 or 4 in the morning.
It was like 3 in the morning.
It was
midnight on
California.
Midnight Pacific. Yeah.
Yes.
3 a.m. Eastern.
And I will tell you this, I don't regret it because that was a great series.
Loki was tremendous.
Yeah, Loki and WandaVision was too, but I don't think we did that for WandaVision. But
no, we did some the night, like the day after kind of thing. But
yeah, I don't know. Do you think Obi-Wan is night worthy, or is it?
I think we can kind of wait and see. You know, we wanted to do Loki just because. I mean, Loki, like, how do you not expect that to be spectacular? But I mean, you know, we've got Obi-Wan coming out. We've got Secret Wars coming out.
That one
I totally want to see. And, you know, some of those, look, I'm not opposed to having a good 4 a.m. session again if it looks good enough.
Yeah. I just don't know if my old eyes can get up at 4.
No, that's fine. I'll get up at 4. We'll watch it. We'll do the show, and then I'll just go straight to teleworking work, and I'll just start work at 5:30. It'll be perfect.
Yes, that is true.
I cannot telework.
Oh yeah, that is rough. How do you live? How do you live going to a building?
Rough, man.
Yeah,
barely.
Yeah, these are first world problems.
Well, now I can just have my car drive me to work. So.
You know, I saw a clip of somebody getting pulled over because he was sleeping in his Tesla all the way down. and the police pulled him over and said, "Hey, you were asleep." He goes, No, I'm fine. He goes, "Dude, I was right by you honking my horn and you were asleep." But, you know, that's technology. Like not I'm Legend, iRobot.
iRobot, yes.
Or what was the other one? The Minority Report.
Oh, see, I was going Demolition Man.
Yeah, Demolition Man. Or
I am ready for some of the things from Demolition Man, like
the 3 shells,
huh?
Like the 3 seashells.
3 shells.
No, but I am ready for when you're sitting out in public and you curse, and then a machine spits out a ticket at you.
Yes, that's called Twitter. They cancel you for that. So that's.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, there, and again, I won't go into too much detail, but I think it was like the president of, it was I want to say maybe it was Estee Lauder, who just got fired because he posted a meme, completely inappropriate meme. Geez, let me do a quick
Quick
And
Google
it just
search.
goes to show if you're a CEO, don't use it.
I think
I mean, you can use
Yeah.
it. You just have
here
to.
it is. Estee Lauder fires senior executive for offensive Instagram post. He was making $10 million a year,
Oh,
and now he's not.
Good.
that's bonkers.
Yeah, it was a stupid meme about COVID, and it had let's just say an abbreviated use of a very bad word, and again, what are you thinking? You're making $10 million a year. You shouldn't be tweeting anyway. You should have a person who tweets for you.
That you can fire when they make an
Yes.
inappropriate comment.
Exactly.
Or is it a business move and it's that, if I'm terminated, I get this incredible 7-figure severance
No.
package.
Yeah, but I think he's getting fired for cause.
The Twitter golden parachute.
Yeah.
Hey, when you're at that level and you're making that kind of money,
Yeah, I don't know if that counts.
that clause or not, you're getting paid.
All right. Well, that's a
Those packages are written by lawyers. You are covered.
All right. Well, apparently he wanted to really bad to get out of that job because
Maybe he did.
He dropped the N-bomb. That's essentially what he did. So there you go. Good for him. All right. Well, gentlemen, another fantastic show.
Mm-hmm.
We broke open the world of cinema and entertainment and fed it to our viewers in a way that only we could do. And
I apologize for my yawning throughout. I did not sleep well last night.
Oh, well, I mean, I'll tell you what, I don't think anybody noticed, and we can always edit that out in post.
Yeah. And I don't apologize for my blatant product
Every time Kenny yawns, you just blank out the screen.
We'll have a little animated photo that'll just pop up over your head, and a smiley face. Like,
I love it.
But no, exactly. See, if you had your Binge Theory coffee mug, Kenny, you'd be.
It wouldn't have Binge. It wouldn't have coffee in it because I don't drink coffee.
Well, see that. Well, I think we're getting to the bottom
tell
of
the internet what's in it. I don't.
I'll never tell.
Actually, I will tell because it's actually really weird and kind of enjoyable, but I'm not sure. So, random tidbit thing. Coca-Cola came out with this random special flavor called Coca-Cola Starlight.
What?
And they're calling it, quote unquote, space flavored. Now, according to Coca-Cola and according to my taste buds, space flavored equals cotton candy. It's cotton candy Coke.
Wow.
Hey, until somebody else comes up with a better description, that's what I am.
I'm not going to knock it because Clara had me try cotton candy grapes for the first time not that long ago. And yeah, I'm hooked.
I got the Coke Zero version, so it's probably a little sweeter perception than it actually is because the aspartame and the other stuff in it kind of make it taste a little bit more. But yeah, so Coca-Cola Starlight, it is space flavored and space tastes like cotton candy.
I'm looking at it right now on their Instagram account, and it looks like tea.
It does. It has a reddish kind of almost like a rooibos kind of a look to it. If you were to kind of pour it out without the carbonation in it. My wife wants to try the regular one because she doesn't need to try the zero stuff like I do. So we'll get the original one, the regular sugar one, and see how that is too. But yes, Coke Starlight at your own risk.
I'm looking at it now. Coca-Cola's new limited edition Starlight flavor is said to be just that. It's a space-inspired
product. I actually went to the store and did a pantry run because I run our pantry at work, and I did not see it on the shelves.
I have only found it at Wegmans.
It's
I've
probably-
looked
I
at
went to Harris
Giant, I've
Teeter.
looked at Safeway, I've looked at ShopRite, I've looked at a bunch of them kind of around. I've only found it so far at Wegmans. So take that for what it's worth.
I know I'm going. I'll be at Wegmans on Monday, so
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
go see if they
And
have
I found it in
Coca-Cola
the
Starlight.
7.5 ounce 10 pack of cans.
Oh, you know what I did find at Wegmans though?
Yeah.
It is near. Well, the next major holiday that's being celebrated is Easter, and so
Skipping over St. Patrick's, huh?
Yep. Because nobody there's no what, yeah, we don't really
I both take offense and represent that.
yeah. We don't like getting ready like for Valentine's or Thanksgiving. Well, hell, we skip over Thanksgiving now. You go straight from Halloween to Christmas.
Yep.
But with Easter coming up in a month,
yeah,
the Reese's peanut butter cup Easter eggs.
Now the cup or just the peanut butter egg in the hard shell?
The peanut butter egg.
Oh, the peanut butter eggs.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, all I remember are the Cadbury eggs.
No, they're not Cadbury eggs. They're peanut butter.
Yep.
Think of it as a Reese's peanut butter cup, but it's in the it's like in a shape of an egg.
It's the shape of an egg with an M&M type crispy shell on the outside, and only the Reese's peanut butter of the peanut butter cup on the inside. None of the chocolate.
Delicious. They're delicious.
It's divine.
Wow.
They're so...
As much as mass-produced sugar can get.
Yeah, but I mean, they're the only time of the year that they're out, and I think I buy like 3 bags at a time.
I will get those.
I'm gonna all the weight that I have lost in the past 6 months. I'm about to gain back in like a month.
I will admit, I will get those, and I will around the Christmas time. Oreo makes a white chocolate covered full size Oreo, and
full size. Wait,
full size.
What have I been eating this whole
Oreo?
week?
Not mini, full size Oreo, and health be damned or whatever else. Like those are the hills I will die on. I will get enough so that it lasts me until the next holiday.
I get the Reese's Christmas trees too.
Yeah, those are good. I'll get 1 or 2 of those just to kind of have at the time. Same with the eggs. You know, I'll get like a dark egg, a milk egg, a white egg kind of thing. That's enough.
Actually, the white chocolate ones are pretty good.
The white chocolate are very good. And believe it or not, the Reese's Zero Sugar that they came out with is actually really fantastic too. It's some of the closest.
I don't, after reading the sugar-free gummy bear review on Amazon, I don't eat any candy that is. Julian, if you have not seen this, so there's these gummy bears that have like tens of thousands of reviews on Amazon, and they're basically sugar-free. Well, the problem is that the I can't remember which sugar substitute they put in them. But essentially, if you eat more than a handful of these, it goes from being a candy to a laxative. Because
substitute,
but after reading those reviews, I'm like, I'm not touching any sugar-free candy because I already know I have a sweet tooth. I will not resist. Like I will just eat, and then all of a sudden, I'm going to be somewhere where I'm not going to be close to a bathroom, and I'm going to be like, oh, I'm in trouble.
So I think that's the Haribo gummy bears.
Yeah, the sugar-free.
No, 100%.
I will say, if for any of our viewers, if you've never ventured to Amazon and read some product reviews, I highly suggest finding the sugar-free gummy bear, the Haribo sugar-free gummy bear, and read the product reviews. You will not be disappointed.
And to our viewers, just for full disclosure, we are not sponsored by Wegmans or Haribo or Coke.
We're not sponsored by any product that we talk about or mention.
But we could
just
be.
wish we were sponsored.
Yes.
by somebody.
That's
it.
We are not adverse to selling out completely. Coca-Cola.
So any of you companies that are potentially watching, we are open to
Yes. Haribo, we will say that your product does not cause diarrhea, explosive diarrhea, for the right amount. Yeah. No, but that's
and Warner Brothers. If you want to pay us enough, we will tell everyone that you guys have just killed it in the cinematic world.
Yes, and I'll even say your animation is on par with Japanese animation. I'll say that for the right amount.
I'll say the DCEU is better than the MCU for the right amount of money.
Basically, you're saying we'll sell out for the right price.
Yeah,
and I think most people can, for the right thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Selling out.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's as long as the price is right, selling out could be a good thing. That's all.
It can. Selling out stadiums.
Yes,
I'd love to sell out stadiums.
Exactly.
I don't do anything that would sell out a stadium, but I'd love to do it.
I would sell out if it meant that I could spend all of my time with my family.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Minus when my kids would be in school. Right. I'll do my hobby stuff while they're in school. But the fact that if I could sell out for enough that would let me just basically retire and spend all my time with my family, my kids, man, damn right I would.
Yeah, there are lines. There are certainly lines as things come up, but in the innocuous definition of selling out,
there are lines. Like, I'm not doing anything illegal.
Right.
I'm not selling out to do something.
You can't spend time with your kids if you're in prison.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we should clarify that.
Yes.
You never know.
If you're wanting me, but selling out, we mean selling out in terms of promoting products or whatever, right?
Products or entertainment.
Metallica sold out.
Yeah.
After the Black Album.
Yeah, the way Taylor Swift sells out every stadium she goes to. That's kind of sell out.
Exactly. She betrayed her country roots to go pop.
Hey,
who cares?
And you know what? She's set for it.
Oh no!
And I will still buy all of the country albums and whatever else she's doing.
I'm sure she is crying herself to sleep with $100 bills.
Oh yeah,
wiping her tears away at night.
Yes.
And she just had a concert come out actually on Netflix that was just fabulous. Like, it was just a joy to watch her perform and to kind of see it. Like, I don't know how we got on Taylor Swift, but like, yeah,
we're selling out. That's what we're selling
out. She has that. And then there was another one that was kind of the making of one of her albums that she did during the pandemic, and just kind of the study of music and the deep dive that she did with the musicians and kind of the writers and stuff of the album. Like, she, say what you want about some of her earlier stuff or whatnot, but she is a musician and an artist and a lyricist and a producer and just an incredible talent in every sense of the word.
Not relationship wise, but every other thing else, she's very talented.
I don't know. I mean, you get the stories that you get, and the relationships get the songs that certainly get out there. You can't say she doesn't write what she knows.
No,
and that's the best way to actually, whether you're in writing novels or novelettes or comics or songs.
Speaking of a musician that puts stuff out is somebody I did not think I would enjoy as much is Meghan Trainor.
Oh, okay.
Meghan Trainor is a songwriter. She can write a song in like 15 minutes. And it's crazy. She did Carpool Karaoke with James Corden.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
While they were filming it, she just was sitting there and just started making up a song about sitting in traffic. Right? But she was
She's-
talking about, like, in general, it takes her like 15 minutes to crank out a song. And I'm like, I'm a musician. Like, I play guitar, I play piano,
Mhm.
I can play the drums, and I've tried to write songs. 15 minutes, try like 15 years. And still nothing.
Yeah.
well,
Or some of the times where, what was it? You watch Eminem
Yeah.
go on a beat for 8 minutes and he's just riffing time after time, word after word, just coming up with it on the fly. Like
I
you
like
can, oh, it's incredible.
there's
Just astonishing.
there's a good interview with him. I don't remember if it was with Letterman or Colbert or
Mhm.
who, but he was talking about how he goes out of his way to find difficult words to write, like with orange.
mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like, nothing rhymes with orange, right? And so he was like coming up with, and then he starts working through phrases that work with orange. And I'm like, that's
Well,
another level, right?
yeah, I saw that interview. He broke down that it's not about the word; it's
Mhm.
about the
The inflection.
the inflection. So yeah, you can do 4-inch, porridge,
Porridge.
Oh, it's brilliant.
And
Yeah.
I just realized who
brilliant.
Megan. I didn't know who Megan Trainor was. I mean, I knew her because she did that song all about the bass.
She has so many great songs, it's unreal. Like, the songs you hear on the radio are like one thing, but then, like, if you actually listen to the rest of her albums, like, there's just as many killer tracks.
Mhm.
She has
I-
very few songs that I don't like. I mean, I like most of her songs. Like, she's fantastic.
All right, there you go. And we do not represent Megan Trainor
No.
or her musical efforts, but
Yeah.
we are a fan.
Yeah.
We are a fan, and I'm looking at because I recognized it when I saw her. She did all of, and again, her and who else was a great songwriter. I don't know if she is anymore, if it's all just a team, but who did the I Kissed a Girl? That was her
Katy
breakthrough.
Perry.
Katy Perry.
Katy Perry, yeah, great songwriter out of the gate.
Sure.
And of course, you reach a certain level, and then all of a sudden people are just writing for you. But let's be fair.
Well, look, I mean,
let's be fair though, Kenny. You have a job and a family, and I don't think that you're literally writing lyrics every day, all day. So it may not come as quickly as it did to Eminem or Megan Trainor. That's 90% of their.
You're right.
Yeah.
No. I'm not comparing myself to them. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, the fact that someone can come up with a song in that short amount of time is just astonishing to me.
But I'm just saying it's repetition and lack of distraction.
So
mhm.
being a musician, like, I've hung out with friends in music studios, right?
Mhm.
And I can come up with music over time. Like, I can come up with a beat, I can come up with some backing music, but it takes me time. But I've sat in the studio with some guys and gals that like, watching them come up with like a beat or just a rhythmic track, and you're just like, where did you pull that? Like, they would hear a sound,
Mhm.
like they'd have a TV going in the background, and all of a sudden,
Yep.
the guy's like, "Hey, what was that? What was that noise?" And then he would go and, like, he would go on his computer and find that, what that noise was, grabs a sample of it, and then just starts making a beat. And I'm just like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a brilliance level that you can't comprehend if you don't have.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. There was there is a series out right now about Kanye. It's I think it's titled "Yay the Genius" or something like that. Yeah, it's a documentary.
Yeah.
on Netflix, and it is called oh yeah, it's Genius, spelled JEEN hyphen YUHS, a Kanye trilogy, and it's a 3-part series, and it's interesting. But to your point about the having a facility to just pull production and melodies and harmonies out of thin air, I would say this: it's like, I can, like, we can come up with literally a script out of the top of our head because we know, story structure and things like that, and we've watched an ungodly amount of movies. But in his world, he listens to music every day, all day, and produces every day, all day. So if he can't make a song in 15 minutes, he's bad at his job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, the only thing that with music that I am quick at is drum beats. Like I can come up with drum beats anywhere, and like I can just be sitting in the car, I can be sitting at the dinner table, and somebody's listening to people talk, and I can hear a noise, and I will start tapping at the table and come up with a drum beat. That's it.
Yeah, it's that facility. You have like just this library of beats in your head, or like when you study music theory, the structure, and one kind of automatically feeds into another. You have different options, but they're all it's a matter of thinking. Just like a sketch artist knows how to do eyes and can sketch an eye like that because they're tricks. There's but speaking of drummers. One last thing. I saw a Foo Fighters movie.
That. I heard about that.
Yeah, I caught this at the Alamo. And it is the worst movie I have seen in the past 3, 4, 5 years.
Oh.
It will not be a cult classic. Well, maybe of diehard Foo Fighter fans, it will. It is... long story short,
I like Dave. I like Dave Grohl. So.
Love Dave Grohl, DC boy, big fan. Big fan of Nirvana. I'm not a huge Foo Fighters fan, but Dave Grohl, awesome.
How do you not like Foo Fighters, man? Come on.
It's I'm not a rock guy. I'm a punk guy. I like Idols. Fun fact: Idols opened. They went on tour with Foo Fighters, and Joe Talbot once said. Yeah, I went on tour with Foo Fighters. I don't respect them anymore. I think they sold out. But, it's a big audience, and, you get in front of as many people as you can. That's the job. So, that's I can appreciate Foo Fighters, and they have some great hits, some bangers. I remember one of the songs I loved. They had a video for it, and it was Dave Grohl and Jack Black doing a video called "Low." And it was a pretty good, not a complex song at all. A lot of staccato riffs on it, and it was a cool song, cool sounding song. The video was a little out there. They played 2 rednecks that went out to a hotel and said, they started blasting music, getting really drunk, and things just started to, let's just say, evolve in a very a way that the Rust Belt may not approve of. And, that was the story of, but a great song. So when you get a chance, listen to Foo Fighters "Low." It's a pretty good riff. And again, I like their other stuff. When I remember watching on Howard Stern when he did the first cover of Everlong Acoustic, and that kind of gave his career the shot in the arm because they say, wow, this is a good song. It's not just a rock song. It has heart and has, good structure and chord progressions, all that fun stuff. So yeah, I get it. But, let me put it this way. This Foo Fighters movie, it was almost like if we made a horror movie. Well, not Logan, because he actually has technical ability, but it's like if I were to get my iPhone and run around saying my house is haunted. That's essentially what it was. And
didn't the Blair Witch Project do that? And
but they did it well.
They did it well.
I think,
and they were first.
I don't think that it was necessarily well. I think it was marketing genius.
That too.
I think the Blair Witch Project was 100% how to market.
It was a masterclass in marketing. I will definitely say that.
But
But
that's where all their money came from.
well, I will say this is that the Blair Witch they invented the found footage genre.
Right.
So yeah, I mean,
Very true.
again, like I said earlier in the show, originality is 90% of why I'm there. Like if you can show me something I have not seen before, I'm locked in. For better or worse, as long as it's something new, because I've seen so many movies. When I see something that takes me by surprise, I'm just keyed in. So yeah, Blair Witch. I remember when I saw Blair Witch, and again, I'm a grown man. I'm not afraid of bears or anything. And I'm walking my dog, in the woods, and I'm freaking out after I saw Blair Witch. It was that, because again, the whole thing about Blair Witch, again, this is literally a Rorschach test for film goers, because you don't see anything in Blair Witch.
Nope.
It's all that it's what's in your head that is that's the witch, that's the horror. So I guess depending on how disturbed you are is how impactful the movie will be. Because a lot of people said, "Oh, I didn't see anything." No, you use your imagination. What's the most horrific thing you can imagine? And that's the movie. And some people don't have imagination, so they're like, "Yeah, nobody showed me what to be afraid of." So that there you go. But to the point of Foo Fighters, 30-second synopsis. Dave Grohl and his band, for their 10th album, want to have a, experience. So they go to a haunted mansion to record it. And David slowly starts to get possessed by a demon. And, then murder. But it was so cheesy. It was almost like a parody of a horror film, but there was no real punchline. And again, they were having fun with it. I get it. It's fun. But it was just a bad movie. Really bad. I don't know what they were trying to do, because they have the money and the influence. They could have really gotten some people to put something good together, and swing and a miss. I give it 1.5 stars
Out of
100 stars.
Whoa. All right. I see how subjective our star rankings can get. Good to know.
Yeah. Well, let me see what Rotten Tomatoes is. I bet they're probably in the 30s. Let's see.
Maybe it's 17.
You're already seeing the
No, I'm just guessing.
Let's see here. Studio 666, Rotten Tomatoes. Now I'm sure the fans will have it higher, but 55% by the actual critics, 81% by the fans. So 55 is much more accurate than I would have.
That's better than the 30 you were giving it.
Yeah, I think some of them were bribed. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, here's the critic consensus. Studio 666 doesn't quite take its horror comedy hybrid to 11, which is a callback to the mockumentary Spinal Tap, and everybody knows that. But if you're in the mood, this cheerful, over-the-top outing is a lot of fun. It's not a lot of fun. It's just some fun. That's my review. It's some fun. Not a lot. Now, the audience says, and this is just the duality of this. The audience says Studio 666 is exactly what you'd expect from a horror comedy starring the members of the Foo Fighters. And if you're in the mood for it, go and have a gory, great time. There's no good time, and there's no good. It's not. And again, I think one of the ways is because it was also shot with this flat camera. There was no vibrance to it. It seemed like they just threw it together real quick, some friends in a camera, and I'm just like, oh, dude, yeah, you had a premise. It could have been, done well, but no, it's just not good. And some of the jokes didn't make any sense. Like Pat Smear is sleeping on the floor because there's no beds, and that's supposedly a thing, but it doesn't mean anything. So I'm just like, anyway, go watch it.
Any other movies that are coming out that you're looking forward to?
You know what? Here's another thing. We got to start upping our Instagram and TikTok game. So I will be putting out some video montages on our social of movies that I'm looking forward to.
Moon
Genre
Knight.
that
Moon
I
Knight
like.
at the end of the month.
I'm sorry, what was
Moon
that?
Knight.
Moon Knight.
The
Oh.
Adam Project comes out tomorrow.
Oh, it does? All right,
No,
yeah.
I have Netflix.
Netflix, yes.
No.
And the most, I think one of the most series I'm most excited about because it was just so, I don't know, maybe there's some fond early pandemic memories, but Upload season 2 on Amazon comes out tomorrow.
I've never seen Upload. What's that about?
Oh my goodness. It is Robbie Amell, Stephen Amell's cousin, who basically short story season 1, he dies and gets uploaded into his consciousness gets uploaded into kind of a virtual matrix of such where you can kind of live forever. And it's kind of all the, he kind of falls in love with a system administrator basically who administrators their system, and it deals with, just kind of, I don't know, it's a beautiful little romantic-ish comedy. It was just such a great escape from the early days of the pandemic when we didn't really know anything, that it just leaves this really, really warm feeling in my mind. And season 2 comes out tomorrow, and I cannot bloody wait.
I finally just saw Free Guy.
Oh, Free Guy was so good. That was great.
Awesome.
It
Yes.
was.
That actually, like, it didn't, like, when it revealed, like, who he was, I was like, oh, I didn't expect that.
Mhm.
That was pretty cool.
There were, and I loved the fact that they had so many callbacks to, well, especially properties. I mean, at the end, where they're referencing Star Wars and Avengers.
They literally had Chris Evans.
Oh my god, I know.
And
That
you
was
notice
great.
how he swore.
WTF.
Yes.
Yeah, and you notice how he swore.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's the whole
it's
joke.
real life Boston Chris Evans. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But also because Captain America doesn't swear, so he's like,
Yeah.
what the?
Right.
Yeah. And then no, I loved it.
That was great.
And I loved, like, Ryan Reynolds playing, when he had to voice Dude. Like, he had so much fun with that. Like,
yeah, dude, the big muscle guy
that wasn't finished.
Yeah, he wasn't finished. He had a
like catchphrase.
Yes,
catchphrase. Yeah. Yeah.
I also like the two cops. The two programmers who went in as cops, and one's wearing a bunny
and
suit.
then one dude was in the bunny rabbit suit.
A lot of great lines, and I wasn't even aware. The woman, the love interest, the heroine of it, she was in The Last Duel with Ben Affleck and I want to say Ethan Hawke, Matt Damon.
Matt Damon, yes.
I got to say it like that because that's how they say it in Team America. Matt Damon. Matt Damon. That's awful. I should say, but and I don't know if I ever mentioned this. The Last Duel, really liked that.
Yeah,
really, really liked that. Don't think it gets enough praise. It's done by Ridley Scott, and it's Adam Driver, Ben Affleck. Even though Ben Affleck's not like he's a secondary character, but he does a good role too. Ben Affleck plays kind of a drunken womanizer, and right what you know, and Adam Driver and Matt Damon are friends. Matt Damon is married to the woman who's in Free Guy. There's a claim she accuses Adam Driver of assaulting her, and then it's a matter of they fight for honor. Matt Damon and Adam Driver, but it's really good. It's good because they shoot it in 3 separate scenes. So the first scene is Matt Damon's perspective. Then it's Adam Driver's perspective. and then it's her perspective, which is, essentially the truth. So they do like 3 different versions of the same, accusation, and it's done so well, and great atmosphere, great set design. It really holds up. So if you get a chance, check it out. But it also really drives at the how women had the women in this story have 0 rights. And if you accuse a man of assaulting you and you can't prove it, you're going to be put to death. So, way to go, humanity.
Yeah.
Way to go, the man-driven society where,
Mhm.
not only does, and again, so she said it to Matt Damon. He goes, "Hey, Adam Driver assaulted me," whatever his character's name was. And of course, Matt Damon's like, my honor. And she's like, "Well, what about, you should be fighting because he assaulted me, not because it's your honor."
Yeah.
But that was the whole premise of it, is, women had like 0 agency in this world. So, but great film, great dialogue, great story, and an interesting way of shooting it in those 3 parts. So I recommend it.
Cool.
Yeah. But anyway, gentlemen, we were going to leave about 30 minutes ago, but
Hey, that's what we do.
exactly. We always get wrapped up in the good stuff. But guys, it's always been a pleasure.
Yes.
Everybody out there, it's awesome to be back doing the show again, and looking forward to doing many more, doing some fun things, posting on our Instagram and our TikTok and our Facebook and our Twitch. We're on all the social platforms, so be sure to follow us. Don't forget to send messages of movies or shows you think we'd like to discuss, because we're always a big fan of that. Don't forget to, go to our merch store. You can leave us a tip, or you can buy some cool swag, all the good stuff. Now, as always, be good to each other, be good to yourselves, and remember, if it's worthwhile, it's worth binging.